Gachagua's impeachment was upheld yesterday by the High Court of Kenya. And this decision is one of the most important decisions for certain key leaders wenye ni mabeshte wake. Jana alikuwa na watch live na kina Kalonzo na Eugene Wamalwa, and this decision makes it easier for Kalonzo going to 2027 because Kalonzo just unveiled his Komboa Kenya, his presidential bid for 2027. Na this presidential bid ya Kalonzo inataka support ya Rigathi Gachagua. And now, when Rigathi Gachagua was officially told by the High Court that hiyo impeachment yake iko upheld, that means that he cannot run in 2027. And if he cannot run, then inamaanisha lazima asupport mtu, lazima kuwe kingmaker. And remember, most Kenyans want Gachagua. We love Gachagua because we want him to be the kingmaker, not to be the king. Because Gachagua being the king is also terrible. But him being the kingmaker, na vile anachapa Ruto, it makes many people like him. So yesterday, this ruling it led a lot of happiness to his friends Kalonzo Musyoka, especially because Kalonzo Musyoka anajua ikifika 2027 hizi 4 million to 5 million is a Mount Kenya. If Gachagua can be able to hold the mountain up to 2027 and if he can be able to win this whole Kalau by election with a huge margin, then atakuwa mistamp authority yake pale Mount Kenya, and that will mean that Kalonzo will benefit from these votes that Gachagua and DCP will be controlling come 2027. So, viewers, things are looking good for Gachagua, for United Opposition, especially Kalonzo, and also they are looking good for young people like Sifuna, because Sifuna, they have a chance now to maybe deputize Kalonzo with Gachagua out of the way, because Gachagua angekuwa in the way, it will have complicated the arithmetics za kura, because Gachagua angefika wakati aseme anataka kusimama, angesema kuna voting block yake ni kubwa, because hata tukubali tukatae, Kenya is ethnicity wins over everything, but kitu tunataka tu kwa hii election ni reasoning. Yeah, ethnicity iko, you cannot take it away, because utapata watu wa Rift Valley wameteseka hii time yote na bado watapigia Ruto. So ethnicity ule usiseme ati Wakikuyu wako na ukabila kuliko no, people from Rift Valley wameteseka, wamepitia shida kama zizi, hawana barabara, lakini still they will vote for Ruto because Ruto is one of their own. Watasema ni mtoto wao. Yeah, you remember even Sudi saying it, haijalishi tumefanya nini, lakini lazima tu support president, lazima tumpigie kura, lazima vitu zake zifanyike. Haijalishi governor anakula tu peke yake akiweka pesa kwa nyumba kwa suitcase, lakini lazima tu support president. Sudi was telling that to the people, and the people had no choice to listen and to shut up, because now what can they do, or what can they say? Yeah. So viewers, welcome to One Ball Brain. My name is Omar Brian. As usual, remember to subscribe to my channel. That is how support us. And those who have subscribed, continue liking our videos, continue leaving comments so that we can be able to take these discussions further. So from the court ruling, let's just summarize, because that thing was too long for nothing. I think the court should be summarizing these rulings, bali ya kuweka watu the whole day when the keywords could be pointed out in a few hours. So the key points from the judgment, I have 4 key points that are important to all of us, and are the points that sisi wenyewe tulikuwa tunataka kusikia. Number 1, the court upheld Gachagua's impeachment, declining to overturn the decision made by the National Assembly and Senate. Court ilisema that his impeachment was in order. There is nothing irregular yenye ilifanyika National Assembly ama yenye ilifanyika kwa Senate yenye inaweza fanya hiyo process yote ikuwe null and void. So court ilisema process ilikuwa sawa, so the impeachment stands. And that makes Kalonzo happy, because Kalonzo now can be able to tell Gachagua, support me. Gachagua obviously will get something like a prime minister slot in the coming government, so he should not be so much worried. He need to he need to accept his role as a kingmaker, because I think the role of kingmaker can make him more powerful. Kingmakers are usually powerful. Yeah, so he should just embrace it. Make sure that he has a lot of numbers of MPs, lot of numbers of governors and senators, and that is how you win elections. Because remember what is happening in Senegal, Sonko and the president Faye. Yeah, so at the end of it all, kingmakers usually hold sway in power, because power, you need to have numbers. So Gachagua need to focus on the numbers, because I think even he himself alikuwa anajua vile hii decision itaenda, kwa sababu hakuenda parliament, hakuenda yani kwa high court, alikuwa na watch from home. So the second point from the judgment, the judges found that the impeachment process substantially complied with the constitutional requirements and did not invalidate the removal from office. So wanasema the impeachment process substantially complied with the constitutional requirement and did not invalidate the removal from office. So wanasema pia vile alitolewa kwa ofisi and all that, it was well, the process was okay, there was nothing wrong that was done to him. The third thing, the court also left intact the appointment of Kithure Kindiki as deputy president, meaning the succession process remains valid. So court inasema pia the appointment of Kindiki as the deputy president was done in order and in accordance to the constitution. So ilifanyika in the best process, ilifanyika vizuri, kukuwa na shida yoyote. Yeah. And lastly, Gachagua had argued that he was denied a fair hearing and that the impeachment process was unconstitutional, but the court was not persuaded to nullify the outcome. So Gachagua argued that hakupewa fair hearing because alikuwa mgonjwa during the impeachment process and he was not heard, but the court said that it was not persuaded to nullify that outcome based on that. So that means that Gachagua can go to the Court of Appeal, which is good. Him going to the Court of Appeal, I know will also decide the same, because viewers, some of us had thought that hii kitu Ruto alikuwa na anatuchezea 3D chess yeye na Gachagua, because I was thinking, because we were discussing it here in Busia with some people, and we were thinking that maybe Gachagua na Ruto wako na deal, he could be reinstated, ama angepewa hizo benefits zenye alikuwa anataka, ama wangesema hii process haikuwa done in a good way, yeah, so that he can be, the impeachment process can be null and void. When the impeachment becomes null and void, Gachagua is viable to run. When Gachagua is viable to run, Gachagua can run and avunje hizo kura za Mount Kenya, ikuwe Gachagua, Kalonzo na Ruto wanagawana hizo kura za Mount Kenya. And that was also what I was thinking, but I was not sure that the people of the mountain wangekuwa hawaelewi hiyo game plan. Nilikuwa sure that the people will see through that plan, but I was sure that it's something that Ruto could have thought about, but it seems that in this case Ruto hataki complications. And it seems that Ruto na Gachagua, they are not really in sync on this issue, because I thought that there was a small game that could have been played here, so that at least the impeachment process ingekuwa upheld, yeah, so that he could run. When he could run, angesema kuna votes mingi kuliko the other guys in united opposition, kwa sababu hao wazee wanapiga tu hesabu ya communities na numbers. So ingekuwa that Gachagua has more numbers, so Gachagua should stand, and Gachagua, the other guys will have said, wewe hapana, you do not have a national appeal, you are a tribalist. So ingekuwa na division, Gachagua angeleta hiyo division. Yeah, so if Gachagua can remain intact in the united opposition, then that means the only other person that can cause the division is Matiang'i, maybe, because Matiang'i really has no influence, even has no control of his own party, Jubilee. And I don't know Matiang'i mbona alienda Jubilee. Matiang'i could have formed your own party. Hata ungechukua zile chama za Nyamira, ungechukua hizo, because going to Jubilee just complicated your arithmetics. Jubilee will not do anything for you. Jubilee is not serious. Yeah, Jubilee ni ile chama yenye president the former president anaichukua tu kama trophy yake, and that party is not going to give you anything in 2027. So I don't know what game Matiang'i is playing, but Matiang'i, I heard yesterday that Matiang'i and PNU Peter Munya walifanya ati agreement at PNU to support Matiang'i. That is just a waste of time. PNU now, what is PNU? PNU sasa ni nini? Peter Munya, seriously. PNU is a dead party. It doesn't matter what PNU does. PNU is a dead party. Jubilee is also a dying party. So two dead parties supporting each other, that is not even something useful. The leaders of those two parties are not even doing groundwork. Amuko kwa ground. Mnataka nani wapigie kura based on what? So I think Matiang'i is a good candidate. He's a good enforcer of, when he's given a job, he knows how to enforce na kulainisha kazi, but pia tunajua kuna makosa yake yenye alifanya, and maybe human is to error, but he did some good though that we can also credit him with. He was a worker. So viewers, I want you to leave a comment and tell me what do you think, because finally Kalonzo is a happy man yesterday, because this Gachagua's impeachment make it easier for him now to be able to consolidate his vote here Mount Kenya, so that Mount Kenya can rally behind him as their cousin, and so that going 2027 akiwa na backing ya Kalonzo, then he'll be made the official flag bearer of united opposition. They can go to Linda Mwananchi, pick a deputy in Sifuna, and be able to also get that Luya vote consolidated and also get that youth vote through Sifuna and through the Linda Mwananchi movement. And they can go into 2027 as a stronger team. So leave a comment, tell me what you think. This is One Ball Brain, the heartbeat of political analysis. And as usual, usisahau subscribe to our channel. That is how you support us. And always like our videos so that YouTube may be able to recommend them to other people. And also leave a comment. Let's see what do you think about this. Because this impeachment is good news to United Opposition, is good news to the country, is good news to the people of Mount Kenya, because finally they are free from that confusion of Gachagua wanting to run. Because that notion ilikuwa imeanza kukuja that we have 5 million votes, why should we not run? But now it is dead, because you have 5 million votes, yes, but now you cannot be able to run, but you can be able to support another person. And that is what we expected from Gachagua, because he can only be a kingmaker in 2027. See you.